Alright, what's up? So, I'm going to be doing a video about therapy. Because I have a therapy appointment tomorrow, so I figured it got me talking. Let's talk about therapy. So, basically, why I go to therapy is because I have depression. Therapy is because I have depression. So, yeah, I go because I have depression because of my childhood and traumatic events that's happened in my life that I'm not going to bring up, but they happened. Yeah, so therapy, I believe, is not a bad thing. Like, I used to hate it. I used to hate going. I remember as a kid going and being like, what's your problems? And I'm like, I don't want to tell you my problems. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, yes, I'm going to cuss on my channel because I cuss all the time. Yes, I don't care. So, basically, I enjoy going to therapy now. It gets me ready for my week. It gets me, if I'm in a stressed out mood, I can take care of that. And I feel like some therapists, they're just there for the paycheck. But my therapist now, he's a very good therapist. Like, he sits down and he's like, hey, what's your problems? Like, what do you know, what's going on? Tell me what's going on, and I'll, give you some suggestions on what you should do. I said, okay. So, but I used to not like it at all. I used to hate it, like I said. I remember one time, one of the traumatic events that happened in my life, I was telling my therapist, she was like, well, that didn't happen. And I said, what do you mean it didn't happen? She's like, well, that didn't happen. That's untrue. I was like, you don't know my life like that. And then I had another therapist tell me, she used to give a metal stick and make me stare at the end of the stick and tell me and describe my problems to her. And I was like, I hated it. So I just pretty much was in a depressed state for most of the time. And then, I got hospitalized in a mental hospital. And I was petrified. I was like, this isn't the end of the road. Like, not like, I basically hit rock bottom at this point. I was never suicidal or anything, but I had very, very dark thoughts. So, yeah. And I remember sitting there and them taking all my stuff from me, everything you can think of. I couldn't even have chapstick. Like, who thinks, oh, well, let me try to, harm myself with chapstick. But anyway, they took my chapstick away from me. And I just remember thinking, Amble, shut up! So basically, yeah. And, basically what happened, I was sitting there, and I remember this one guy came up to me, and I was sitting in the hospital, and he was like, hey, I can see that you're not doing good here. He said, I just want you to know, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. He said, you're here because you need to work on your depression. And I was like, yeah, I don't really want to be here. And I think the best part about being in there is they actually found out what was wrong with me instead of just being like, oh, well, this is what you have, this is what you got on a piece of paper and saying adjustment disorder, because that's what I was diagnosed with before. So I just kind of took it, and I just take my depression as I have depression. I know this video is everywhere, all over the place, but that's what I'm talking about. So, I don't really know what to say, so I'm just kind of rambling. But, yeah, I met this one girl. She was in the same hospital I was, and I used to hang out with her, and then I just kind of stopped, and everybody was like, you don't need to be hanging out with her, she's not a good influence on you, and I found out she wasn't. She was doing stuff that I didn't want to get involved in. So, I'm very thankful that I got put into the hospital for 14 days, but, yeah, now I'm on meds, and I'm not afraid to say, hey, I'm on meds. It's just a part of me now. So I kind of am thankful that my family was like, hey, maybe you should go to a mental hospital. or a psychiatric ward, or whatever the hell you want to call it. And and it was very, very difficult. But I got my depression under control. I talk a lot more than I used to, for sure. Yeah, it's basically all I really got to talk about. So, yep, so I'll see you next vlog.